I just handed Claude $500 in credits and full control of my Higgsfield account and told it to go make a film. No supervision, no approvals, nothing. This is what it made completely on its own. And this is what I made. Same tool, same budget in the same 24 hours. One of these cost more, one of them took way longer, and only one actually tells a story. I am racing Claude to find out if a fully autonomous AI can actually replace a human director. And yeah, Higgsfield's the sponsor of this video, so stick around and I'll show you exactly how this works. The first step is to go to Higgsfield and connect it to Claude using their MCP. I made a video a little while ago that shows you how to do this, and I'll put a link to that at the end of this one. Here's the setup. We've got Claude pulled up. Now to let the agent do all of the work on its own, I have to go into the connector settings and allow Claude to generate images and videos and all of these other things without asking permission first. Time to start a new project. I'll describe what I want Claude to do, which is come up with and generate an entire film. It says it can do that, but it just wants to know whether I want to have control over the vibe of the film, its aspect ratio, or the sound. I really only care about aspect ratio here. I want it to be 16:9, but other than that, I say we just let Claude decide and see what it comes up with. Boom, Claude is off to the races. Now for my part, I'm also going to use Higgsfield MCP with Claude to help with structuring things and everything, but this time I am fully in control. About 4 years ago, I made my first short film ever called Life of Ludwig. It's about a little blue monster, and of course it was filmed entirely on my actual real camera. I loved this process, but the issue was it took a number of days and over $1,000 if you count the camera, lenses, lighting, and all the other expenses. I'm gonna recreate it with a few credits and just a couple of hours sitting right here. We need to start with the characters. That's Ludwig, the little blue monster, first. I tell Claude that I want to start building his character sheet. The first draft it's given me looks like this. His name is Mungo, and he looks okay, but I want to remove the ears, shift him to a lighter blue, and make it look like a real puppet. This second version is a bit better, but his belly is a bit too round, and I think that we overdid it on the lightening of his fur color. His color looks good in this one, but he's too tall now, and I want to remove the lighter blue belly. Okay, this is gonna be a process. About 10 minutes later, I finally got Ludwig locked in. This is the design we're going with. Moving on to the antagonist, the bow hunter. This initial generation from Claude is a bit scary and aggressive, so let's soften him up a bit. This looks good, but let's add a mask. Perfect, the hunter is locked. Earlier, I had told Claude that the story takes place in a forest, so now it's automatically generated a location reference to move us forward. This actually looks really good, so I won't make any changes here. Let's just move on to shot planning. But first, let's see how the autonomous film generation is going, shall we? Oh, wow, it's already picked a story, generated images, and the first 4 video shots. It's just asking for my go-ahead to continue with generation, so I'll give it that. Now let's hop back to my film. To make this movie around the same duration as the autonomous one, I'll have to abbreviate the story a bit. But using the context of what we had talked about before, Claude has already suggested a story beat list that is shockingly similar to my original film. Honestly, I don't think that I need to change anything here. I just want to make sure that we generate with Seedance 2.0, use as few generations as possible, and use video referencing to keep everything consistent. Now Claude has planned this whole thing out for me, but there is an error here. I don't know why agents are always wrong about this, but it's telling me that Seedance doesn't generate reliable audio, which just isn't true. And I swear every single AI agent I've ever used when it comes to film generation has gotten this little detail wrong. The fix is literally just telling it that it's wrong. See, now it gets it. From here, we'll move on to generating our first shot reference image. The initial offering from Claude looks okay, but this is just Ludwig on top of the location reference image. I want him integrated into the scene more. Here we go. This image looks way better. We'll approve it, and it's video generation time. This shot looks perfect, but it wants to do a final keyframe grab to start the next shot, which isn't ideal. I want to do a full video reference instead. Now it's confirmed that we can do that and given me a reference image. This is okay, but we need to turn the hunter around so that he's aiming at Ludwig and the shot is over his shoulder. That's a miss. And this one looks good enough. And now we'll generate the next video using the original video and this image as our references. While we're waiting on that, let's check back in on Claude's film. Okay, well, it's done. I definitely didn't win on the speed front. Let's go back to my generation. This shot looks good, but there's no reason that it needed to be so long. That's one problem with letting Claude do all of the generations automatically. If I had seen the prompt, I would have known that it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, and I could have adjusted before spending the credits on this. I'll make it ask for permission from now on, and we'll move on. This next frame looks good, but if you compare it to the last one, it crosses around to the other side of the hunter, which is a big no-no in cinematography. That's called crossing the 180-degree line. Without getting super into the weeds, placing the camera on one single side of your subject for every shot is important to maintain visual consistency across all of your shots. Like if he's facing this side of the frame, for the close-up we also want him to be facing this side of the frame. This is almost there, but the character of the hunter looks a little off. Nope, crossed 180 again. I'll give them the image that I like and just ask for it, but with the character swapped. Bro, he still needs his hat. He's missing his hat. Finally, that took forever. Stuff still takes effort with these AI tools. You gotta be persistent. Okay, next video. And see, just like I was saying, this generation failed. Let's try it again. This one failed too. What is going on? Oh, actually, it didn't fail, but for some reason, it's just not showing up in Claude. They're both here in Higgsfield. So note, double check your generations on Higgsfield if they're showing up as failed in Claude, because there seems to be a glitch here where they just don't pop up in Claude. Moving on to our next scene. This reference image looks good. There's nice motion blur and Ludwig looks good too. Time to generate the video. And that one looks great too. I'll just generate the rest of the clips and then edit them into a full film on my editing timeline. The same thing needed to be done with Claude's film. I downloaded all of the clips and I edited them together in DaVinci Resolve. Here's the final result from Claude. Visually, it looks alright, but you can definitely tell that it's AI. The big problem is that there's no real discernible story here. Some of the shots don't match up chronologically or spatially either. And the final cost of this film was 562 credits. So is it cinema or is it slop? Let me know down in the comments. Now on to mine. This film took way more effort, and maybe I'm biased, but I think it turned out way better, both visually and as far as the story is concerned. There are still some small inconsistencies with the chocolate and a few of the angles, which is very common for AI films, but for a couple of hours work and about 1,500 credits spent on this one, I'm happy with the result. Let me know what you think down in the comments, but to me this whole thing just proves that AI is a powerful tool, but you still get the best result when you have a vision and an artist or a dummy like me who wants to execute that vision with the tool. I'll link Higgsfield down below if you want to try this out for yourself, along with that original live action film that I made a number of years ago. Now, if you want to see me put Higgsfield's Claude MCP to the test and how to do it yourself, I've got a link to that video right up over here. I think that you'll like that.